Hey guys, what is up? It's NihonTiger. Welcome back to the Panic Testish server, and I am here once again recording a lovely episode of Panic Mode. And today, I think this is going to be a short episode, a little bit of lag on the server, so apologies in advance for any lag you might see. It's not on my end for once, it's on the server's end. I guess we haven't migrated over to whatever new service we might be using eventually. But today, I wanted to kind of bring everyone over here and take a look at this. This is the smeltery. So this is from Tinker's Construct. And to assemble a smeltery, see if I can get up here real quick. What you need to do is make a bunch of these seared bricks. Now, I made seared bricks. There's two ways you can make them. One way is to actually use the smeltery itself, and you smelt down cobblestone here in the smeltery interface. Now, it gives you a certain amount of, so let me take a look here. And that open. Let's see, seared bricks. Now, there's two ways to do it. So, seared brick. You could use a bunch of grout. Grout's the easier way to go, I think. You take grout, which is sand, gravel, and clay, and you get 2 grout out of it. You can also, go ahead if I go back here, use liquid table casting, which means you can make this ingot cast out of a brick or an ingot, or however you want to make it. We'll talk about ingots in a minute here, and casting and whatnot. But you can get some seared stone liquid form. You need 36 micro buckets for a brick, and to get that, you would need to use a fluid transposer, but you also can use some cobblestone, and it will get you various amounts depending on how much of compressed cobblestone and whatnot you put in there. See, there's like 18 pages because there's a billion different ways you can throw stuff in here. Cobblestone itself throws in 8 micro buckets. Compressed, this is I think what, stone throws 8 micro buckets in, and your compressed cobble from extra utilities, which is 9 cobblestone, throws in 64. And this is the most amount that I would throw in there, because let's take a look at, for example, the octuple compressed cobblestone, which is 43 million cobblestone blocks. That only gets you 8 micro buckets. That's an absolute waste of cobble. I mean, look at all that cobble, and you only get 8 micro buckets out of it. You get more micro buckets out of the single compressed cobblestone than you do out of the octuple compressed. So, if you take a look at each of these, sextuple compressed cobblestone, it's 530,000 cobblestone compressed together, only gets you 120 micro buckets, which is basically 2 regular compressed cobblestone. So there's absolutely no reason to ever go above just compressed cobblestone. Even that, there's a slight drop off. You lose 8 micro buckets out of that deal, but it does allow you to smelt up a whole bunch more as far as your slots go. Now, to actually construct one of these bad boys, what you need to do is go ahead, come on up here, and if you hear my keyboard, I'm using my new mic, so it'll picks up the keyboard pretty badly. But you basically, as I would describe it, you make a, oh, that's no good. I'll have to dig out of it. But you have to make a, oh, I'll put these back here. But you have to make a cup, a seared brick cup. That's how I would describe it. You take these 8 blocks right over here, and those are your base, and you kind of set these as your, actually it's 9 blocks. 9 blocks is your base here, so 3 by 3 on the bottom, and then you make your walls on the outside. And once you do that, once you have a complete walls all the way around it, then you should have a good start to it, but you have to put in some additional blocks as well. And here's what they are. So what you need is at least one of these, which is a smeltery drain. You need at least one seared faucet, which attaches onto the smeltery drain. You need a smeltery controller, and you need a seared tank, which will contain all of your liquid lava. And the lava is what powers your smeltery. So want to have it attached at least like this, so that the seared tank and the smeltery controller are next to each other, and usually we'll put the smeltery drain right next to the smeltery controller, just for the sake of looking nice. You can have more than one drain as well. There is no limit on the number of drains you can have. Just keep in mind that the more drains you have, the more stuff you have to manage, and the more places that you can use lava up at. Now this right here is a casting basin, and I think this is for casting just molten metal into a single bucket type area. So this is something you can make as well. And also a casting table. This is where you'll put your casts on. So like the excavator cast there, and I can right click it and get it back. And I'll just keep them in the chest. We just keep them in the chest here right by the casting table. So yeah, there's a little bit of lag. Apologies for that. But the way this works is I have some lava in here. And if I come into here, this is my smeltery interface. And the way this works is I have all these slots here I can put various materials in. I have them melted down. And this here, this middle part right here with the lines on it, looks like a kind of measuring jar or a measuring cup of sorts. That is actually where your liquid material will be. And you'll be able to take a look at it and figure out, okay, how many ingots do I have? How many bricks do I have? How many of micro buckets do I have? So that's very helpful. And I want to see, I think I might have to go grab a bucket, grab some more lava out of here, because I want to make a lot of stuff. Or maybe I just want to make one thing, but I do need quite a bit of material for it, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to go ahead and smelt that all down. But what I want to do is talk a little bit about the advanced techniques in Tinker's Construct today, just in basic, because there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with it. There's like all kinds of crazy things you can make with your Tinker's Construct. What do I have here? Oh, a little bit of lag. So if I take 7 and 8 of these, and I take 8 of these dust, they'll act just like ingots. I think we're gonna make a steel hammer today. Is what I want to make, which would be, I believe, an upgrade over the copper one I have. So I'll have to take a look at the books and make sure that that's the case. But yeah, the way you would make the seared brick blocks, is just you take 4 of the seared bricks, just like a regular brick block, and you just make them in your shapeless crafting like so, and you get 1 seared brick. As for the tank, it's 8 seared bricks with a glass block in the middle. That is for the seared tank. And so I also want to show off smeltery drain is just 3 seared bricks up and down on either side, and a middle here that has nothing in it. Smeltery controller, which is important, is the same as the tank, but without the glass in the middle. And what is the last thing? I forgot what it was called already. I know what it is, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Having a brain fart here. Let's hop on over, take a look at it, jog our memory a little bit. Oh, you have to talk about the casting table as well. But the seared faucet. So, seared faucet is from Tinker's Construct, and it's basically just a bowl of seared brick. Also, you take a look at the casting table, which is made with a bunch of seared brick arranged in the shape of pants. So if you make seared brick pants, you get a casting table, and if you make a seared brick cauldron, you get a casting basin. So very easy to remember how to do those things when you take a look at the basic shapes. Now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and dump this iron and the manganese dust in here so I can make steel. So I'll dump that in there, and you'll notice that here the fuel kind of finally shows up. Maybe it was glitched a little bit. It usually shows up, I think, when it's here by default. But I have 1,650 micro buckets of lava left, and you take a look at a pulverized iron on the left side here. This little bar that's going up. that is the process indicator. It's showing it how much it's melted down already. But I'm going to go ahead and grab a bucket because I forgot to grab my bucket when I went up there. I only grabbed the iron that I needed. But very simple, very easy to make a smeltery. And very easy to learn how to do molds and whatnot as well. Now you can also use the seared bricks for, obviously like I did for my roof, you can use them for ornamental look if you so choose to. Where's my bucket? It's lagging again. Yes, this data center is not the best. Oh, there you go. Suddenly opened everything. Yeah, we've had some issues lately with lag on various servers that are at this data center. So I think the talk is we're going to move it to somewhere it's a little more stable. And I do apologize for that. I wish I had more control over issues with the hosting. And it's funny because, you know, I get all my internet issues all hopefully resolved today, and now I have to deal with all the issues here with the lag that's present on the server. So, like I said, I hope this is something that can be resolved quickly. So, Ender Tank has storage in it, and that's where we get our lava buckets from. And each of these should deliver, if I click on this, additional 1,000 micro buckets per regular bucket. You can see it fills up with an animation there, so that's great. And now if you look here, I have 8 molten iron ingots. So let's throw these 8 manganese dust in there. You can see the fuel is melting away. Now, to make a cast, there's 2 things you need to make a cast. So to show you real quick here in NEI, let's grab the ingot cast. You need 2 things to make a cast. You need an item to create the mold, and you need one of 2 things. You need either gold or an item called aluminum brass. And aluminum brass is made by melting down aluminum, a lot of aluminum, and a little bit of copper, and you get large amounts of aluminum brass. Now, I usually tend to prefer just using straight up gold because gold's pretty plentiful in your FTB worlds. So what you really need is one of those. There's also a gem cast if you have an emerald, which I think that's new. I don't remember that being there. But you have these blank casts, and I don't know if there's any use for them other than to make paneling maybe. So what you need is you need some kind of plate. For example, the plate cast, you would need a plate of some sort. It can be anything. It can be stone. It can be wood. It just needs to be something that's made with the pattern in the pattern chest. So for example, if I wanted to make another hammer, I could take the hammer, not the whole piece, but I could take the hammer bit in the middle, and if I made that originally, I could put that on the cast right here. So let's see if I have, yeah, I'll show you with this ingot. So if I want to make an ingot cast, what I would do is I would have gold inside of the smeltery already, and I would put down my ingot in the casting base, in the casting table like this, and then you would just right click on top of the seared faucet, and it would pour out onto the ingot, and you would need the requisite amount of, I think you need 8 to make a cast. You would need equivalent of 8 ingots to make a cast of any of these. And once that's all set, you can then put your cast over here in a chest, usually would be good. And then you just grab your cast out of your chest when you want to make stuff. So we have 16 steel ingots. Those have all melted down now. So what we can do, actually, if we want to, and I want to show this off real quick. That's my materials and you. So the advanced book here, this is the book you get when you make the Mighty Smelting book. Is your helpful book in case you ever need any of this. So yeah, smeltery. If you ever need to make one, you can make smeltery controller, seared tank, seared bricks. You need 10 seared, any combination of 10 seared bricks, seared tanks or drains, faucet, and a casting table. And I believe yeah, if you place any of, I believe your 9 seared bricks here, I believe, are your base, and then your 10 seared bricks here on the outside are what you would need for the outer edge here. And then obviously you have the smeltery and the tank controller and the seared tank as being your 11th and 12th blocks to complete the circle. So here, if you take a look at it, it gives you an idea. That's what your original smeltery will look like. And I think the more levels that you put on it, you can make it larger and it will hold more material inside of it. So for example, this one is 3 high, so it will hold more than if it was just 1 high. And if you want to take a look at it, this will give you as well all of your ideas on how to, make stuff with your recipes and whatnot. So seared glass is another thing you can make for, I think it's for tanks. And it'll give you an idea of all the various things that you can melt down to make different materials, like end stone, which requires liquefied ender and obsidian. You can even make glue if you want to. These are all things that you can make, alloys as well. So bronze, aluminum brass, magnesium, aluminite, and pig iron, which is an actual thing you can make. It is scary. We will make some sometimes just because we can. So this is another important book, the Materials New Volume 2, because it contains all of your recipes for your various items, and additionally it also contains all the important info on the materials you can make your items out of. So let's go ahead and find ourselves steel, and we can see what we can make with steel compared to copper. So copper has a durability of 180, a handle modifier of 1.1.5x, full tool durability of 207 if you make the whole thing out of copper, mining speed of 5, mining level 1, which is iron, and base attack is 1 heart. Steel requires the smeltery, has a durability of 750, handle modifier of 1.3, and a full tool durability of 974, so we're making a better one. Mining speed of 8, and this is the important part because we're making our hammer. Mining speed of 8, mining level 4, which is cobalt level, and a base attack 1.5 heart. So it's basically 10 times better than, well, not 10 times better, but it is quite a bit better than the copper hammer we have already. It's also got the material trait of reinforced with a level 2, which I'm trying to remember what reinforced does. I think it's in the book. 10% chance per level of not using durability. So it means that we basically can not only use it to have more durability, but it will also have less chance of it actually using up all that durability. So I'm going to go ahead as well. And this is interesting too, in case you didn't notice. You can place ingots in here, and it will melt down all those ingots for you, so you can cast them. And for stuff like steel, you will need to do that. So I want to go ahead and dump 11 in there, because our recipe calls for, I believe, 27 ingots in total. Because we'll need a tough rod cast, we'll need a not tough binding cast, we'll need 1 hammer, which is 8, so that's 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 2 of these plates is 16, 11 plus 16 is 27. Alright, so we can go ahead, actually, if we want to, and go ahead and cast off the two plates right now. So if I want to go ahead and make these casts, what I would do is right click on the seared faucet, and you can see there's an animation that fills it up. And eventually, once it's full, it might be lagging a little bit, it will make a steel large plate, which is good. So let's go ahead and grab the other one. It's running a little bit slower than it normally would. And if you take a look in here, you can actually see it drain. And there you go. There's your steel plates. So grab our plate cast back. And I will go ahead and throw the hammer cast on there. And see how this is doing. It's looking like it's going pretty good. And you can see the progress bar is slowly going up for all of these. And in fact, it's going up a little bit slower for the 3 that I've put in last. So once of these, oh, threw those out, didn't mean to. But let's go ahead back in here, take a look. Once these 8, and in fact the other 3 as well, once they're all finished, they will come into here, and you will see this start to slowly rise up. And you can also see that the fuel is being taken in to smelt these at quite a good clip. So there's the first one. So let's watch the tank in here. And there we go. There we go. 6, 7, and one more, 8. Okay, so we have enough to make our hammer cast right now. And we'll pour that out. And you can even see there's a little animation of the actual mold filling up. And eventually it will get to the top and fill up. At that point, our cast is complete. So let's go ahead, pull that out. There we go. And we have 3 ingots in here, which is enough for our tough tool rod. And that fills up. Get that. Through our tough rod cast back in there. And now we just go over to our tool forge. And we select the hammer. We throw down our items in the proper slots. And we have our hammer with reinforced 2 on it. Let's come up with a good name. Hold on one second. I'm going to go ahead and take a look real quick for something and figure out how I want to name this hammer real quick. Okay, I'm back, and I figured out a name for my hammer, which I'm borrowing from Japanese folklore, and it is Uchide no Kozuchi, which translates to like miracle mallet or small lucky hammer. And it is important in one of these stories of Isun Bochi, which is a Japanese folktale. And basically, the Uchide no Kozuchi is said to grant its wielder's wishes. So, in essence, we're kind of hoping that this will be a lucky hammer for us. And you can see, it even shows up on the tool tab as Uchide no Kozuchi. And yep, it'll act just like our hammer here. Yeah, we have the Do no Hanma, the copper hammer. So now we have the Uchide no Kozuchi, and I'll go ahead and come down here into my quick mine, so to speak, and I'll give it a very brief chance. I want to see if I can. Oh yes, I can mine this stuff right now. This Carmont ore. I can't mine it with, for example, the copper hammer, but with the steel hammer. Oh yeah, no problem. And you can see it takes out a 3x3 chunk as well, which is fine. Don't really care too much about that. So that comes out, that comes out. There we go. And a hammer will always pick up any material that is at its mining level or lower. So we have our steel hammer now. Very happy. And really that's about it. That's kind of the basics of the smeltery. I really don't have much else to talk about right now, because I think next time we're going to discuss barrels and the importance of the just another barrel, better barrel attempt mod, and how awesome it actually is. It's actually a pretty cool mod, and it's a lot better than most of the barrel mods that are out there right now. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it was a little bit informational for you. Do excuse any echo or reverb, probably reverb, that you hear in the microphone. I am doing this on my new mic, and I'm testing it out, and I've got it pretty close to being at the point where it's not picking up any reverb, but it's not quite there yet, so I am trying to kind of troubleshoot it as I have, the opportunity to troubleshoot it. So I'm going to put this stuff back here, and you can see as well, I just wanted to show this off too. Our pulverizer and our redstone furnace are being powered by a Stirling generator quite well. And pulverizer is a little bit charged in it. I used it to come up here and pulverize all of the items we had here. We also got some bonus stuff. This ferrous metal and this shiny metal is just bonus material that we got from pulverizing our stuff. I think the silver as well is a bonus material. But that's all for now. Hopefully next time we'll get to talk a little bit about Jabba and also the backpacks mod that's out there, and We'll also get to talk in a future episode about metallurgy, so this carbonate ore will be very vital in a future episode. But until then, have fun, guys, and I'll see you next time.